Yeah, hydroxychloroquine, and a little bit of where Trump may have gotten some of this information about why we're giving this to people.
Oh my God, this is like my favorite. I mean, it does have a tragedy in it, but like it is kind of one of my favorite COVID stories to talk about because it's like I just can't get over it. So, the drug hydroxychloroquine is, I think how it's pronounced. That was touted by Mr. President Donald Trump on March 21st, if everyone remembers that. So he's like, this is a preventative for COVID-19. Like everyone should go out and get it. So
he was taking it, wasn't he? Didn't he take it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
Yeah, I think he was taking it at that time too. So then I guess these people here in Arizona, the guy, his name is Gary Lenius, I think, or Linus.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't pronounce his last. I'm so bad with names sometimes. But anyway, so he died the day after that was announced because he and his wife, they consumed a version of the hydroxychloroquine called chloroquine phosphate, intended to treat fish for parasites. So basically what I'm seeing here is the police did not investigate this as a homicide. Okay. So at the time. So I guess they investigated it. It's still, as of this article, which was I think in March, that it's still an active ongoing investigation. So I guess Wanda told NBC News in an interview that she had the non-prescribed chloroquine phosphate at her home for the koi fish that the couple once owned. So what she said is that they both each mixed 1 teaspoon of the chloroquine phosphate, which is like not the same as hydroxychloroquine. Like it's totally different chemical makeup and everything else, right? So they thought that's what they had. Okay. So
it sounds vaguely similar, roughly similar, so it must be the same.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's like the stuff that the Trump said on the TV. You know, we're going to go take it now.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. So they mixed it with one teaspoon of the non-prescribed chloroquine phosphate with soda. So they mixed it with some other stuff here too. I don't know what that would do mixing it with soda. I mean, I'm not a chemist, but
make it edible.
I guess. Yeah, like, make it taste good. So I guess Gary Lenius died at the hospital and Wanda remained in critical condition at the hospital for multiple days. I think she's out now. So I guess what she said is she heard Trump tout the chemical during his briefings from the White House. She's like, we saw Trump on TV, every channel, and all of his buddies, and that this was safe and it was okay to take. She's like, and that may well be true, but we didn't know the proper dosage or anything. I'm like, yeah, then you shouldn't have been doing it. Right. So
I understand, like, thinking, oh, okay, we have this thing, it's about similar, you know, what's it going to hurt? It's the fish. They can take it. Why can't we? It sounds like this. Then we don't have to go to the doctor, which you couldn't really go to the doctor at the time, you know?
Right. Yeah. So it's like I don't know like where that disconnect is with some people, but it's amazing how people, you know, literally try to take their healthcare into their own hands like that and not at all reach out to a pharmacist or the poison control or a doctor or someone else that is a professional that might know like that this is like really not something that you can ingest at all. I mean, I'm probably sure that it's probably on the bottle even somewhere.
Probably.
That's like, I'm pretty sure you have to put that on every chemical that you send out. Like this cannot be ingested. If it does, call the poison control center.
Right.
So I guess she said, she's like, I didn't think it would kill us. We thought it would help us because that's what we've been hearing in the news is what it says. I have a few other things on it. I mean, So she claimed that within 20 minutes of taking the chemical, she felt dizzy and hot and started vomiting. Her husband started to develop respiratory problems and wanted to hold her hand. So, yeah, it just sounds like they waited too long. And, I don't know what all went down with that, but like, it's just crazy to me, like that people would go to that extreme.
Right, right. There's a little bit of mystery behind this one as I was trying to dig in and see what happened, where apparently she's a Democrat, so she's not really a Trump supporter, so this was a homicide because it was investigated by the Arizona homicide unit or whatever, and then the police came out in Arizona and said no, all deaths go through that. It's not just
Right.
so they're not saying it's a homicide, but some other people in his life have said he wouldn't have done this. But I think there was a lot of fear at that time, just so much fear. I mean, I know I was scared. My
Sure. Yeah.
we like sweep the house and just clean everything. I like took the cushions off my couch. I like sprayed everything. There was actually a lot of reporting at the time between January and like April that poison control calls were going up.
Oh, yeah.
Not just because of this, but because people were using so much of it that they were like huffing it, getting it in
Yeah.
there it was all over
Yeah.
their house and they weren't airing it out properly, or
Yeah.
like they were washing their vegetables with it.
Oh, God. Yeah. I know. I even had coworkers, they like wiped off like their fruit and vegetables with the antibacterial wipes and stuff. And I'm like, that is so crazy. I don't know if I would do that, but I I didn't go that insane. I mean, I was just very careful at what I did or where I went, like bringing things into the house and stuff. But that is pretty, some of the stuff is pretty extreme. I'm sure if we look it up, we could probably find some other things that happen to some people with just like the cleaning chemicals.
Oh, I do have more stuff.
So, I can't wait to hear it. Spill it, girl.
I remembered during this whole hydroxychloroquine thing that other people, and it's not even related to Trump and what he said, that people just started reading online about how these cures that can fix it and solve it. And remember in April, I mean, he didn't necessarily start it, but in April, Trump suggested hitting the body with disinfectant, right?
Right.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
Well, he actually got that from somebody. It wasn't the doctors that he was working with or anything. And it's unclear whether he really did read this information, but I think that the doctors and a lot of people are saying he probably did hear it. So he was sent a letter by a guy named Mark Grennan, and he is the self-described archbishop of a Florida church that sells Miracle Mineral Solution. It's a wonderful detox that can kill 99% of the pathogens in the body.
Oh, what is it?
It is sodium chloride, and he even has like links on how to make it, which have been taken down. So the story is that he sent this letter to Trump saying, hey, this thing works. Turns out this guy had already been told by the FDA to quit it. He's being sued by the FDA. They were saying, okay, quit it, because he's claiming, this is from the book. It says, why should you trust your doctor? Why not to trust your doctor? Should we be afraid of cancer? what toxins are doing to the body's systems and how the body was designed to work from the pie hole to the butthole.
Oh my God. This is what he actually put on there?
He did read it on his podcast, which he does on April 19th, which was about 5 days before Trump talked about it in public at the press conference. And I'll just warn you, this letter is really long and it doesn't really explain any of the things that he claims. He just sort of talks about his beliefs, and then he includes the book, though, for Trump to read. So I'll give you a little bit of taste here.
All that says your form is not a good. All I say to him, do what you want, but we're dealing with the results of what we're saying to do. Okay? Every week. It's crazy. You do what you want. This is all about you having the power to do what you want. Okay? So what I want to do is get all of us self-care. So I basically spent all day writing this letter, and I really felt, Joe, like God was guiding me. I prayed and I said, Lord, I got to write this. But I'm going to read you first what I wrote the president after I wrote the FTC. Oh, and by the way, we've had about 20 to 30 people that I know of write the FDA and write the president. Mm-hmm. Wrote it, send me what they wrote. Yeah. Thank you. And keep going. Just keep telling them this is not right. You can't be shutting down churches. So this is what I wrote to the president. Dear Mr. President, sir, I pray that this letter gets you to you and finds you well. I am praying you read this letter and intervene and look into the FDA attacking our church and its sacraments by calling them fraudulent. Here is the list we have been put on saying our sacraments are fraudulent. And it's an FDA government list, and we're at the bottom. We have a lot of testimonies and evidence. It seems if you mention anything can rid the body of COVID-19 not approved by the FDA, you get attacked. I wrote 2 books about what we've been doing also, and I gave the name of the books. I enclosed my first book for you. I sent him the ebook. Well, Mr. President, they attacked the wrong church, the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ. We are Bible believers to take God at His word. Our temple or our bodies are His, and He commands us to keep them clean. That is what we do with our sacraments.
So you hear there how he is really pushing a lot of these ideas, and like I read some of the things off the website, and these were the things he was claiming was that he says, what is the disease of the body? Why is the body diseased? And he puts a space or like a hyphen in between dis and eased. Diseased. So I think he kind of says it like that. Anyway, history of Western medicine, and that will open up your eyes. It's basically bleach is what the FDA is calling it. So the FDA has sued him, saying,
oh my God,
you're not allowed to do this. You have to right before this happened with Trump, when Trump came on in April, like April 24th, and said that whole disinfectant thing. And right before that, in April 16th, the United States Southern District of Florida, the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida, had sued them saying, okay, you guys are making all these claims. People are getting this stuff and they're getting very ill and they're getting very sick, and I don't know that any of them had died, but you cannot sell this stuff. Because it's basically bleach, that they're telling them
God.
It cures, they say, autism, cancer.
Well, I mean, that wipes out pretty much everything, I'm sure. Wipes you out too.
Right. It wipes out everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So this guy is an interesting fella. I think it's a little concerning to think about Trump picking that up and actually pushing that idea, because he had already been sued by the FDA. So you would just want to make sure you're not saying those things out in the public sphere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the FDA basically said if you're drinking MMS or other sodium chloride products, stop now. The FDA has received many reports that these products sold online as treatments have made consumers sick. So the guy, of course, went on after Trump said it. He went on to his he has a web page because I think YouTube banned him. I can't find anything on YouTube. But he has his own website because he said the internet can't stop us, which is like the internet people. I don't know. There's no internet people, but the internet can't block him. I guess he's right. He can have a web page. I guess maybe the host could take it down, but anyway, they said he responded to them saying, "You, the people who wrote the article, you and your newspaper are just puppets of the evil players of this world, like the Murdoch Rothschild families. May God open your eyes, picklehead Ed, and that doesn't research the truth, or you are a paid liar. That doesn't research the truth, or you are a paid liar." So it's just an interesting thing that they think that the media is paid, the mainstream media. And so he on his blog or on his he has a podcast, a daily podcast, and he talks a lot about that. He talks about how who are you to tell me what I can put in my body? Who are you to tell me I can't take this? And all he does the whole time is talk about all of the cases of people who have taken it and explain how much they feel better because of it. So he was arrested and his sons were arrested for pushing this stuff and continuing to push it even after the FDA did it. And they considered it a huge victory that Trump mentioned it on TV. Of course, they were like, we're winning the war, basically. On Friday, hours after Trump talked about the disinfectant on live TV, Grennan went further in a post on his Facebook page. He claimed the MMS had actually been sent to the White House. He wrote, "Trump has got the MMS and all the inflow. Things are happening, folks. Lord help others to see the truth."
Wow. It sounds like he's been, drinking a lot of bleach himself.
He does say that. So
yeah, that's kind of.
He went to prison and he moved to Colombia so that he could do this legally.
Wow.
And in Colombia, they put him in jail because, of course, and he's waiting to be extradited back to the United States right now, but because of COVID, can't.
Right.
So they're just holding him down there for us. Thank you. But as of the other day, the 27th, so 3 days, or as of December 27th, he wrote that he was one of the people who had taken it. So he said, "For those of you who have had success with treating it, please send it, because this is the letter I'm going to send to him," which is basically, here's his affidavit. He says, speaking of him taking it, "I, Mark Grennan, being of sound mind and body, under penalty of perjury, state the following to be true. I treated myself with acidified MMS, sodium chloride, also known as chlorine dioxide, for an MRSA infection I had in my body." I don't know what MRSA is. After 4 weeks, the MRSA infection. What?
It stands for MRSA. It's a real severe skin infection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After 4 weeks, the MRSA infection was completely gone from my body. It's been 14 years now, and I haven't had another MRSA infection since that time. If I ever become reinfected, I will use the same treatment. The only side effect I experienced was a little diarrhea, which, when I reduced the dose, it went away.
Oh my God, this is great.
Yeah, this guy is just unbelievable. And he's asking his followers on his Facebook. So he has 4,915 friends to submit your affidavits and tell us how it helped you. It says write them out, and if you have multiple testimonies, make them separate so we can submit more. We'd like to have hundreds. And this guy, in the last, between April of 2019 and April of 2020, made like $500,000 on this stuff. So
Oh my God, really? There's that many people that tried it.
Yep.
Drinking basically bleach.
Right. And this guy has all these friends. He has this, he's in jail and he's still blogging. Like, he has an update from when he was in jail. Update from prison. Hey guys, he runs something called G2 Church. So
Oh my God.
he's an interesting fellow. I mean, if you listen to him, he actually sounds a lot like Trump. When I was listening to him, I was like, he has the same sort of confidence about what he says, that basically I'm right. This stuff works. Period. And how dare they try to tell us otherwise? So people did get sick of this, of course, because Trump then, even before Trump, people were taking this because they were listening to him and other people that were saying these things. And then after Trump, it got a little worse. And there's some evidence from the disease or the centers, or the CDC, because they take calls from people, that the poison control centers, that's what I was going with. They run all the poison control centers, and their numbers like spiked after Trump said it, and even before, because of all these things. But in January, February, and March of 2020, accidental poisonings with household disinfectants were up 5, 17, and 93% respectively, over the same months from the previous year. And then following Trump's comments, the increase was 121% compared to April of 19. So,
well, I just looked up what the side effects are of drinking bleach.
Mm-hmm.
So you experience, let's see. Well, even if you just splash bleach on yourself, it causes skin irritation, red water eyes, and blurry vision.
Oh my goodness.
So then if you drink it, then the side effects are severe vomiting, severe diarrhea, low blood cell counts, low blood pressure due to dehydration, respiratory failure, changes to electrical activity in the heart that can lead to potentially fatal abnormal heart rhythms, and acute liver failure. So, yeah, I'm sure it probably affects the brain.
I don't get, like, why do they think, where did he get this idea that this thing in particular helps?
I think it's because, like, just reading this, and this is coming from, what is this, healthline.com or whatever, just a Google search here. I think it's because it's bleach is pretty effective disinfectant, because it can kill not all, but some types of viruses, bacteria, mold, mildew, and algae. But that's surface level stuff.
Right. Isn't that what disinfectant means? Is that it's specifically not meant for the body? Like, it's meant outside the body.
It will kill the virus. Like, it does kill COVID-19, but on surfaces, not on your skin or inside of your body. You don't want to put that on your skin or inside of yourself. But like a table that you use, sure, wipe it off with bleach, okay? Or a countertop.
Right.
But don't ingest the stuff,
I don't even like using bleach.
I don't either, honestly.
Although during COVID, I did upgrade to bleach and alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and Lysol, if I could find it.
Yeah, Lysol was pretty hard to find. And counter wipes, they disappeared too. They're back now. Finally, the countertops are back.
Oh, great.
So that was kind of an exciting find from last week.
Right. Wipes are back. I love those wipes. They're the best.
Yeah, they really are. I like them too.
Well, a couple people did not inject, they swallowed, of course. And not even, this is before Trump even said it. One guy ingested rubbing alcohol. He was a 35-year-old man presenting to the emergency room unconscious. His mom tells the admitting nurse that she found him on the floor with an empty bottle of rubbing alcohol in his hand. He had read on the internet that alcohol disinfects the SARS-CoV-2 virus, afraid that he had been infected after touching his face at the grocery store He found a bottle of 91% rubbing alcohol.
Oh my God, 91%?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Immediately after drinking the entire bottle,
Oh my God.
he said he felt confident he wasn't going to be infected this time. Someone on the internet said it'll burn a little on the way down. But in his mind, the benefits of disinfecting himself outweighed that burn. As the minutes passed, he started feeling dizzy. The floor started spinning. He collapsed. His mom heard the noise and found him unconscious. She called 911. With supportive care, he came out of a coma.
Oh my God.
Went home a day later. And this article is really great. It's actually from Miami Times online, and it details all of the different disinfectants and how they hurt you, just kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another guy who, another man, 40-year-old man, presenting to the emergency room with drooling and vomiting. He tried to speak, but he couldn't. An exam of his mouth and throat found swelling, redness, and ulcers. In the emergency room, doctors immediately stick a tube with a camera down his throat. Swelling and inflammation were so bad they couldn't find his vocal cords.
Oh my God.
I know. I don't know. I don't remember which one he took. I don't think it says here, but a longer tube was stuck down his throat to look at his stomach. Burns and dead tissue were found in the inner lining of his esophagus, confirming that he is suffering from caustic burn injury.
Ooh.
He accidentally swallowed industrial strength bleach. Oh, it does say here.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm.
Did he live or?
Yeah, they all lived. They just nobody died, which is good on this one.
Right.
But it didn't cure COVID. It didn't prevent them from getting COVID. And now they have these terrible, side effects from it. Right.
Oh yeah. That's going to screw you up for life there.
Yeah. That burn in your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy could have died. He was in a freaking coma. The other one. There is a little funny one that kind of made me laugh just because this one was after Trump. This was funny, but the following day, after Trump said what he said, another man, these are all in Georgia. It's kind of weird, but he consumed a combination of cleaning product, Pine Sol, mouthwash.
Oh my God.
Beer, and painkillers.
Well, that'll do it.
He's alive still.
Oh my God. How did you survive that?
Shit. People. So, those are my stories, Mary. Mary Contrary.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, I don't even know what would I really understand all this stuff. I get it. I understand the thinking and that distrust of doctors. And at the time, again, there's so much information flying around. There's entire huge articles about all the misinformation about COVID, just one after another. And there's more we can talk about. I know there's a whole thing on Bill Gates we already said we want to go into at some point.
Yeah.
So
yep.
It's more about vaccinations and COVID, but it relates because he is trying to get people to take the vaccination. So
right. Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this episode. This was a great one. Don't drink bleach.
It knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that?
Thanks everyone for listening to Real Talk. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen. We look forward to having you on our next one.